They killed my baby. I don't wish this on nobody.
A 31-year-old influencer was found dead in a hotel room just days after her husband proposed to her. Ashlee Jenae was reportedly discovered unresponsive inside a hotel in Tanzania.
She bought the outfits. She booked the flights. She got her hair done, her nails done, her lashes on point. She planned every single detail of a trip to one of the most breathtaking places on earth. And when her man got down on one knee in the middle of a safari with a lion walking by, she posted it for the world to see and wrote, "Still taking this in." Somewhere in Africa. Days later, she was dead. And the man she said yes to waited 11 hours before he told a single soul. You're watching True Crime Unraveled on YouTube and True Crime Unraveled TV on Facebook and Instagram. Before we go any further, to everyone who has been dropping comments, sharing your theories, your support, your outrage, we read every single one of them. Every comment. Keep them coming because your voices matter and they keep us going. Now, let's talk about Ashlee Robinson. Before she was Ashlee Jenae, the lifestyle influencer with over 120,000 Instagram followers, she was just a girl from South Jersey with a boldness that most people spend their whole lives trying to grow into. The story of how Ashlee ended up in Miami is the kind of thing that tells you exactly who she was. Her best friend had just landed a job down there and needed someone to ride along for the 18-hour drive. Ashlee said yes. Her flight back to New Jersey, already booked for that Monday. By Wednesday, she had found herself a job in Miami. Went back to Jersey, packed her bags, and never looked back. That was Ashlee Robinson. She didn't wait for life to call on her. She showed up first. Miami suited her. She modeled. She worked her way into music video sets, Rick Ross, Migos, Meek Mill. That kind of access doesn't fall into anyone's lap. You earn it. By her early 30s, she had built a brand around something she genuinely believed in. That Black women deserve to live well, travel boldly, and not apologize for a single second of it. Her content, luxury travel, beauty, fashion, the soft life, grew a real community. Women who looked at her page and thought, that's possible for me too. Behind the brand was a daughter. Her parents, Harry Robinson and Yolanda Denise Endres, were based in Delaware. Proud of everything she built. When she traveled, she called home. She FaceTimed her family from Zanzibar. She shared everything. That was who Ashlee Robinson was. Now let's talk about the man she was with, because this is where the story starts to get complicated. Joe McCann was the founder and CEO of a company called Asymmetric Financial. In 2024, his crypto fund was ranked the #1 performing fund in the world, not just in crypto, across every asset class on earth. His resume read like a highlight reel. Over 2 decades across Wall Street and Silicon Valley. Senior director at Microsoft. Quantitative trading at a San Francisco hedge fund. Written up in Forbes, TechCrunch, and the Wall Street Journal. The name of his company, Asymmetric, refers to a situation where one side holds more information, more power, more control than the other. Keep that in mind. He and Ashlee had been together roughly 1 year before the Tanzania trip. From her side, the relationship was fully visible. She posted him everywhere. Date nights, vacations, captions full of warmth. She put him in front of over 120,000 followers. He never posted her once. Not a single public acknowledgement on his own page. And then there were the comments sitting on her posts for 20 weeks before she died. He's going to kill you. Get out. He will harm you. Multiple people. Multiple warnings. Over months. Ashlee never responded to a single one. So that's the picture going into this trip. A woman at the top of her game, in love, building a future, and a man whose public persona told one story while the private reality was quietly telling another. Zanzibar, Tanzania. Look it up if you haven't seen it. White sand, crystal water, landscapes that don't look real. It is exactly the kind of place you go to celebrate. And that is exactly what Ashlee Robinson did for her 31st birthday. The couple started at Serval Wildlife Resort, where rooms run nearly $1,000 a night, then moved to a private villa at Zuri, Zanzibar, a luxury resort right on the water. This was a statement trip. On April 3rd, while they were out on a wildlife safari, Joe got down on one knee. She said yes. The video went up almost immediately. Her caption, still taking this in. Somewhere in Africa. April 5th. Her birthday. The resort arranged rose petals on the ground, spelling out HBD Ashlee. She fed a giraffe with her bare hands and captured every second. She posted it with a caption that read, Chapter 31, and I'm exactly where I need to be. Joe replied to the post with one word, me. She came back with one word, forever. Her mother later told reporters she was calling home, FaceTiming, sharing everything. She was not a woman falling apart. She was a woman standing at the highest point of her life. Now hold that image, because what happened next is why we're here. 3 days after her birthday, on April 8th, Ashlee called her mother. She and Joe had argued. It was serious enough that hotel management at Zuri Zanzibar stepped in, separated the couple, and moved Joe to a separate villa about a 10-minute walk away. Neighbors in the adjacent bungalow had complained. Apparently the arguing had been going on repeatedly since they arrived. Here's what a hotel attendant reported. Sometime after the separation, a staff member was doing rounds and came across Ashlee in her room, looking for a phone charger. She gave her one. Ashlee asked her to come back in 15 minutes. Think about that for a second. A woman who wants a phone charger and asks someone to return in 15 minutes. Does that sound like a woman who has made a decision to end her life? You tell me. When the hotel worker returned, the door was locked. The lights were off. Using a spare key, the worker entered the room. What she found was Ashlee unresponsive with a piece of cloth around her neck. By some accounts, she was still showing signs of life when first discovered.
Breaking news, we now know new details in the tragic passing of Ashlee Jenae. Ashlee Robinson, who went by Ashlee Jenae on social media, and her new fiancé were on vacation in Tanzania. On April 3rd, during their vacation, her boyfriend at the time proposed, becoming her fiancé. Then on April 5th, Ashlee celebrated her 31st birthday. All of the photos and celebration that we have seen took place at this hotel. On April 6th, Ashlee and her fiancé moved to a different hotel just north. When they arrived, Ashlee and her fiancé were staying in room 25. 2 days after they arrived, they got into an altercation and hotel staff moved them apart. This was after room 24, which was directly next to the couple's bungalow, complained of the noise. Ashlee's fiancé was moved to this bungalow area. Shortly after that, a hotel attendant was making their rounds for inspections and they found Ashlee looking for a phone charger and they were able to get her one. She then asked the attendant to return in about 15 minutes. When the hotel worker eventually went back to her room, the door was locked and the lights were off.
She was rushed to a hospital, transferred to a second hospital, and on April 9th, Ashlee Robinson was pronounced dead. The official cause of death listed by the second hospital, cerebral hypoxia by strangulation and suffocation. The medical report noted an unidentified mark around her neck. It stated, and these are the words in the document, according to her husband, he found she hung herself on the door. And right after that explanation, the medical staff themselves wrote 5 question marks. Not 1, 5. The doctors receiving that information could not write it down without expressing doubt on the paper. When the people writing the official medical report can't hide their own skepticism, that tells you something. Now here is the detail that Ashlee's family cannot let go of, and frankly, neither can we. Joe McCann did not call Ashlee's mother when she was found. He did not call when she was taken to the hospital. He waited, and when he finally made that call to Yolanda Denise Endres, he told her Ashlee had been taken to the hospital and was stable. Don't worry about it. Yolanda asked what happened. That's when Joe told her something had occurred 11 hours prior. 11 hours. The family did not hear from Joe again after that call. The next update came not from the man she was engaged to, but from the hotel. And the notification that Ashlee had passed away came through the U.S. Embassy, via the emergency contact information on her passport. That is how her family found out she was gone. While all of this was unfolding, Joe McCann was active on social media, reposting content about cryptocurrency and business as usual. He has since scrubbed Ashlee entirely from his page. No statement, no tribute, no acknowledgement that the woman he called his forever existed. He has cut off all contact with her family. Complete silence. Ashlee's best friend Savannah Britt put it plainly. She posted, "We need justice for my friend Ashlee Jenae. Anyone who knows Ash knows she would never. We need answers now." Her mother Yolanda said, "She's never done anything that would ever lead me to believe she would do something to harm herself. She was happy." Her father Harry Robinson said, "Uncertainty, mystery, anger, sadness. It is like a part of me has been taken."
Uncertainty, mystery, anger, sadness. It's like a part of me has been taken away.
We believe that they were in love. We believe that their relationship was genuine. He told me that Ashlee did something to herself and that she was being taken to the hospital. I said, "What happened when?" And he told me it had been 11 hours prior.
Sometime Jill went back to the room with security, and that's how they found her.
She's never done anything that would ever lead me to believe that she would do something to harm herself.
She was not just going to be discarded and forgotten about.
And the family pointed out something that a lot of people are glossing over. Ashlee was the one who funded this trip. She planned the whole thing, got the outfits, got the hair done, put together the itinerary. This was her birthday, her celebration, her gift to herself. She went to Africa with everything to live for. The proposal was a surprise she hadn't even expected. So we're supposed to believe that this woman, who organized her own birthday trip, got engaged, called her family to FaceTime them the joy, and then asked a hotel worker to come back in 15 minutes with a phone charger, decided in that 15-minute window to end her life? You can answer that yourself. Now, let's talk about what else was going on beneath the surface, because there is a financial dimension to this story that most coverage has missed. Joe McCann's company, Asymmetric Financial, hit its peak managing nearly $400 million in investor funds. But by July 2025, a whistleblower posted publicly that the fund had lost nearly 80% of its value. Investors who pulled out at the end received back less than what they initially put in. The company abandoned its active trading strategy mid-year and tried to pivot, but it was too late. A $1.5 billion deal that was supposed to be the next chapter for Joe's career collapsed. The company went dark. Now here's something most people haven't connected. Zanzibar wasn't just a vacation destination for Joe McCann. He had been there multiple times. Zanzibar is in the middle of developing a $1 billion special economic zone called Nia Cyber City, a hub designed specifically for crypto innovation, blockchain developers, and global investors. No wealth tax, no capital gains tax, tax incentives for foreign businesses. The Zanzibar government is directly involved. And Joe McCann was the exact type of player this project was built to attract. He wasn't just taking his girlfriend on a birthday trip. He had connections there. He knew people there. He was a known face. Which raises a question that nobody has officially answered.
And he is known. He's a frequent, visitor. They know him. That changes the story. It's not like somebody who just went there for the first time. And then he also chose a place where the police can be bribed.
How much did that familiarity with Zanzibar, its systems, its officials, its culture, play into what happened and what followed. Because here's the other thing you need to know. Joe McCann had been married before to a woman named Shay Jackson. 10 years his junior, worked in marketing. That marriage ended, reportedly with physical abuse cited as a factor. And then he met Ashlee. His passport has been confiscated by Zanzibar police. Authorities confirm they are questioning him and holding him pending autopsy results. The same authorities who initially told local media he was not a suspect. The same authorities whose first ruling was that there would be no investigation until U.S. Embassy involvement, family pressure, and international attention forced them to reconsider. Ashlee's family has been fighting from the moment they got that call. They contacted police. They contacted the consulate. They contacted the embassy. They requested surveillance footage from the resort, footage that, as of the last known reports, has not been released to them. They were considering flying to Zanzibar themselves to demand answers in person. Her mother told reporters simply she was loved. She was not just going to be discarded and forgotten about. Here is what we know for certain. Ashlee Robinson asked for a phone charger and told someone to come back in 15 minutes. She called her mother days earlier, sounding like a woman working through a rough moment, not a woman at her end. She posted chapter 31, and I'm exactly where I need to be, and meant every word. Her family received no official information beyond confirmation that an investigation was ongoing. Joe McCann waited 11 hours. Joe McCann has said nothing publicly. Here is what we do not know. What happened in that room between the time the hotel worker left and the time she returned? What was captured on the resort's surveillance cameras? What Joe McCann told Zanzibar authorities? What the full autopsy concluded? Whether anyone else in that resort had contact with Ashlee that night? Here is what no investigation, no official ruling, and no amount of silence can erase. Ashlee Robinson was a woman who built something real from nothing. She drove 18 hours on a whim and turned it into a life. She was loved by 120,000 people who followed her story and by a family who is still fighting for her name. Chapter 31 was supposed to be a beginning. She said so herself. So here's what we're asking you today on True Crime Unraveled. We want to hear from you. Does the official story hold up? Does the timeline make sense to you? What do you think happened inside that villa at Zuri, Zanzibar? And why has the man who proposed to her not said a single word? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We read all of them. Every single one. Your theories, your questions, your prayers for Ashlee's family, keep them coming. If this story moved you, please give this video a like right now. It costs you nothing, and it helps more people find Ashlee's story. She deserves to be found. She deserves to be remembered. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We are True Crime Unraveled on YouTube and True Crime Unraveled TV on Facebook and Instagram. And we cover every case until there are answers or until the world starts demanding them. We are watching. We are not forgetting. And we are not done. Rest in peace, Ashlee Robinson. Your chapter is not finished. Justice for Ashlee Jenae.
And now the details on the investigation into the death of Ashlee Robinson. Her family is demanding answers after the influencer from South Jersey was found dead during a trip to Africa where she had just been engaged. Action News reporter Cheyenne Corinne joining us live in the Satellite Center with more on this heartbreaking story. Cheyenne.
Alicia, well, Ashlee Robinson, she actually was raised locally in South Jersey, and now her death in Zanzibar is making headlines across the world. Well, today we spoke to her family in Delaware who say they aren't getting answers from her fiancé or officials in Tanzania about what happened to her.
Uncertainty, mystery, anger, sadness. It's like a part of me has just been taken away.
On April 5th, influencer Ashlee Robinson, who goes by Ashlee Jenae on social media, was celebrating her 31st birthday in Zanzibar, Tanzania. She was on the vacation with her boyfriend of 1 year, who popped the question just 2 days before.
We believe that they were in love. We believe that their relationship was genuine.
Ashlee's mother says she never would have expected that less than a week later, her daughter would be dead. On April 8th, she says Ashlee called saying she and her fiancé got into an argument and were moved to separate rooms. The next day, she received another call, this time from her fiancé.
He told me that Ashlee did something to herself and that she was being taken to the hospital. I said, what happened when? And he told me it had been 11 hours prior.
Hours later, the luxury hotel the couple was staying at called saying Ashlee passed away. According to the hospital's medical report, Ashlee had an unidentified mark around her neck. They wrote, quote, according to the husband, he found she hanged herself on the door with several question marks.
Sometime Jill went back to the room with security, and that's how they found her.
Ashlee was also taken to a second hospital who listed her cause of death as cerebral hypoxia by strangulation and suffocation.
She's never done anything that would ever lead me to believe that she would do something to harm herself.
She was not just going to be discarded and forgotten about.
And the family, as you just heard, they are just desperate for information. They tell us that they are requesting surveillance footage from the resort. They also say that they have contacted police, the consulate, and embassy and have not heard back. No Action News, we also tried to contact Ashlee's fiancé and we also did not get a response. The family says their next steps are going to Zanzibar themselves to try to get answers. We're live in the Satellite Center. Cheyenne Karen, Channel 6, Action News, Rick.
All right, Cheyenne, thank you for that report. We're learning new details tonight about the death of an influencer with local ties who was found dead while on vacation in Africa. Ashlee Robinson, who goes by Ashlee Jenae online, was on a birthday trip with her fiancé at the time.
Well, tonight we're learning her fiancé is still being questioned as Robinson's family desperately tries to find out what happened to her.
It is Tuesday night. Shari's off. Felicia Vitarelli is joining us, and the big story in Action News is the mysterious death of a South Jersey woman, now drawing international attention.
Now, tonight, we know new details from authorities about her death. She was on a vacation of a lifetime in Zanzibar, Tanzania, which is on the east coast of Africa. Action News reporter John Paul live in the Satellite Center now with the very latest, and the family desperate for answers, John.
Yeah, Alicia, Rick, they are desperate for those answers. Now, we did get some new information. We know that authorities in Tanzania have confiscated her fiancé's passport. This is while he's still being questioned. But according to the BBC, local authorities there in Tanzania did not originally suspect him of any wrongdoing, while the family continues to be desperate to know what happened.
I don't think no one else is going to fight for it the way we will.
That fight continues tonight as the parents of Ashlee Robinson press for answers as to what happened to their daughter who was found dead in Tanzania. Today, the two spent the day in Washington, D.C., trying to get information from the embassy. They spoke with Action News yesterday, saying they were getting nowhere.
No one wants to talk to us. Like, just let us know what happened. That's the only thing we want to know is the truth.
There is nothing that's confirmed. We don't have anything from the police or law enforcement that states that there is a conclusion to anything. It's under investigation, and it's under investigation because it doesn't look right.
Robinson, a 31-year-old social media influencer who went by Ashlee Jenae online, was found unresponsive in her hotel room in Zanzibar and declared dead April 9th. Police say they're investigating it as a possible suicide. But investigators in Tanzania said she had been in a fight with her fiancé, Joe McCann, hours earlier, and the two were separated by hotel staff. He was moved to a different villa, which was about a 10-minute walk away from where she was staying. Her parents are now pushing for security footage from the Zuri Zanzibar hotel.
If there's security footage, that will tell the story. So we just want to know if there's any security footage, if there's anything just to saying that what he's saying is true.
The hotel hasn't responded to them, but did provide a brief statement to ABC News, saying they were deeply saddened by a tragic incident involving one of our guests. Tonight, the family's preparing to fly to Zanzibar to try to get answers in person.
I just know that I have to keep going forward. I'm never going to give up. And I just want the truth out there.
We did reach out to McCann. He has not responded. As for the autopsy, that is expected to be released at some point tomorrow. The parents tell me that they are still trying to make the trip out to Africa. They expect to do that sometime this week, but they are waiting on that autopsy. Live tonight in the Satellite Center, John Paul, Channel 6 Action News. Rick?
All right, John, thank you for that report tonight.